Hey Bears fans, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Chicago Bears. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. The Chicago Bears are in turmoil tonight after an explosive and shocking decision from head coach Ben Johnson, who reportedly expelled cornerback KYLER Gordon from the team's facilities following a heated exchange during practice. Sources close to the situation described the scene as volatile, with players and staff left in disbelief as Johnson ordered Gordon to pack his things and leave Halas Hall immediately. The Bears were already under pressure after a shaky start to the season, but this incident has pushed the franchise into the center of controversy. Nobody saw it coming. Not the media, not even teammates who usually keep their ear to the ground. Some players have hinted that tension had been brewing for weeks, especially after Gordon publicly questioned Johnson's defensive schemes during a post-game interview. That comment, which seemed harmless at the time, now looks like the spark that set everything on fire. Fans have taken to social media in droves, trying to piece together what really happened. Was this a simple clash of personalities, or something deeper inside the locker room? Whatever the case, this isn't just another headline. It's a story that could reshape the Bears' season and even the coach's future. As more details surface, the narrative around Ben Johnson's leadership is taking a dark turn. Insiders claim the coach has been increasingly authoritarian since the team's Week 5 loss, tightening control over training routines and communication channels. Gordon, known for his outspoken personality and competitive edge, was apparently one of the few players willing to challenge Johnson's approach. The breaking point allegedly came when Johnson called out Gordon during a closed-door defensive meeting, accusing him of not respecting the system. Witnesses say Gordon fired back, telling Johnson that respect is earned, not demanded. What followed was a tense silence that ended with Johnson storming out. Hours later, Gordon was told he was no longer welcome at team practice. This sudden dismissal has raised eyebrows around the league, with analysts calling it unprecedented mid-season behavior for a player who's been a consistent starter. Some even wonder if Johnson's decision reflects desperation rather than discipline. When leadership fractures like this, the ripple effect can devastate team chemistry, especially for a roster already struggling to find consistency on both sides of the ball. The question is whether this was personal, tactical, or simply emotional chaos disguised as authority. Now, the locker room atmosphere is said to be thick with confusion and frustration. Players who spoke off the record described a sense of walking on eggshells, afraid to voice opinions or even joke during practice. Ben Johnson's message to the team, reportedly delivered in a brief and stern meeting after the incident, was that no one is above the standard. However, many within the organization are questioning whether Gordon truly violated any team rule or if the expulsion was driven by pride and pressure. KYLER Gordon, drafted for his versatility and intensity, had been a defensive centerpiece, a player who could shift momentum with a single play. Losing him now not only weakens the secondary, but also damages the locker room's morale. The Bears, already fighting to stay relevant in a competitive NFC, may now face a deeper challenge: rebuilding trust between players and their head coach. Fans are divided, with some supporting Johnson's tough love approach and others labeling it a massive overreaction. Either way, the story has dominated sports talk, turning what was supposed to be a quiet mid-season week into a full-blown media circus that no one in Chicago can ignore. Meanwhile, Gordon himself has remained silent on the situation, which only fuels speculation about what truly went down behind closed doors. His social media accounts have gone dark. No posts, no comments, no cryptic emojis, just silence. That absence speaks volumes, especially in an era where athletes often use online platforms to defend themselves or share their side. Some reporters claim Gordon was seen leaving Halas Hall visibly upset, refusing to answer questions as he got into his car. Others say he's consulting with his agent to determine his next move, which could range from filing a grievance to requesting a formal release. The Bears organization, for its part, has released a brief statement saying only that the matter is internal and being handled according to team policy. That vague phrasing has done nothing to calm the storm. Insiders believe the front office was caught off guard, scrambling to control the narrative before it spirals out of control. In the court of public opinion, silence often reads as guilt, but whose guilt are we talking about here, Johnson's or Gordon's? The truth might be more complex than anyone realizes. Behind the scenes, rumors are swirling that this conflict had been building since training camp. Several anonymous players have hinted that Gordon's fiery personality clashed with Johnson's structured coaching style from day one. Johnson, a strategist known for precision and discipline, reportedly viewed Gordon's improvisational tendencies as a liability rather than a strength. During one preseason meeting, the two allegedly exchanged sharp words after a blown coverage drill. While it seemed like a minor disagreement at the time, those who were there say it left lasting tension. Add to that the team's underwhelming performance so far, and you get a perfect storm for confrontation. Some within the Bears' inner circle believe Johnson felt his authority slipping, and that expelling Gordon was a statement meant to reassert control. But if that's true, it might have backfired. Players tend to rally behind one another in moments like this, and early whispers suggest many teammates are quietly siding with Gordon. The locker room, once united under a shared goal, now feels fractured, uncertain, and on edge as the story dominates every sports outlet across the country. The fallout from this situation could go far beyond one player's expulsion. Insiders say the Bears' upper management is monitoring the situation closely, worried about the optics and the potential impact on team morale. Ben Johnson was brought in as a fresh voice, a leader capable of transforming a struggling franchise into a playoff contender. But this incident has raised doubts about his temperament and ability to manage personalities. Leadership in the NFL isn't just about strategy, it's about emotional intelligence, communication, and knowing when to draw the line. If Johnson overstepped, it could cost him the locker room, and once that's gone, it's almost impossible to regain. Analysts on ESPN and Fox Sports have already begun debating whether this could mark the beginning of the end for Johnson's tenure in Chicago. For now, all eyes are on how he handles the media in the coming days. Every word he says or refuses to say will be dissected. Because when controversy meets poor performance, someone usually takes the fall, and right now, both Johnson and Gordon are standing at the edge of that cliff. The situation surrounding KYLER Gordon's expulsion has evolved into one of the most talked-about sagas in recent Bears history. What began as a private dispute has morphed into a full-blown organizational crisis. In the hours following the incident, several former Bears players took to social media to express disbelief, with some calling Johnson's decision unprofessional and emotionally charged. Even ex-coaches and analysts weighed in, suggesting that internal discipline of this magnitude rarely happens mid-season unless something truly toxic has been brewing. What's striking is how quickly this story has snowballed beyond football. It's become a reflection of leadership, ego, and the fragile balance between authority and respect in pro sports. The locker room, once the most sacred space in any team, now feels like a stage where personal power struggles play out for all to see. As the narrative unfolds, the Bears are finding themselves not just defending their season, but their identity. Every press conference, every anonymous source, every whispered rumor seems to add another layer of drama. And through it all, fans keep asking the same question: what really happened between Ben Johnson and KYLER Gordon that made reconciliation impossible? There's growing speculation that Gordon's departure may not be permanent. League insiders have hinted that veteran players are lobbying behind the scenes to have him reinstated, arguing that the team can't afford to lose such a key defender. Some teammates reportedly met privately with front office officials, emphasizing that Gordon's passion, while occasionally volatile, has always come from a place of wanting to win. Those close to him describe him as intense but loyal, someone who holds both himself and others to a high standard. If that's true, Johnson's move might be seen as a failure to channel that intensity productively. Sources within the Bears organization are split. Some back the coach's hardline approach, while others believe he's alienating his players. And in professional sports, perception often becomes reality. Once players start doubting a coach's judgment, it can spread like wildfire. If this standoff continues unresolved, it could have serious consequences not only for the team's chemistry, but also for its reputation across the league. Because make no mistake, agents, players, and rival franchises are all watching how Chicago handles this power struggle. Adding fuel to the fire, several media outlets have reported that Gordon's camp is considering legal action if his dismissal isn't properly justified under the NFL Players Association guidelines. This introduces an entirely new dimension to the story, one that could drag the organization into a lengthy and embarrassing dispute. The Bears have yet to comment on that possibility, but insiders say their legal team is already reviewing every detail of the confrontation. Meanwhile, Johnson's relationship with his coaching staff has reportedly grown strained, with some assistants questioning whether his emotional reaction compromised the team's discipline policy. If this internal friction continues, it might be impossible for Johnson to command the same level of respect he once had. What's fascinating is how fast narratives can shift in the NFL. A few weeks ago, Johnson was hailed as the brilliant young coach who could modernize the Bears. Now, he's being painted as a volatile leader whose pride got the best of him. And as for Gordon, he's becoming something of a folk hero, the player who stood up, spoke his truth, and paid the price. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Despite the chaos, there's still a sense among some fans that this could be a turning point, either a moment of reckoning that strengthens the Bears or one that sends them spiraling into dysfunction. Every successful franchise faces internal storms. The difference lies in how they weather them. Some analysts have compared this to past moments of player-coach conflict that ended up defining eras. Think Tom Coughlin and Michael Strahan, or Pete Carroll and Richard Sherman. In those cases, tension eventually forged stronger teams. The question is whether Ben Johnson has the humility and strategic vision to navigate this crisis with grace. His next moves will be critical. How he communicates, how he rebuilds trust, and whether he can convince his players that discipline doesn't mean domination. If he fails to read the room, the Bears could lose more than games. They could lose their identity as a united team. And in professional sports, once a locker room splits, it takes a miracle to piece it back together. For now, every practice, every meeting, every sideline interaction feels like a test of leadership under fire. KYLER Gordon, for his part, might be weighing his options carefully. Those close to him suggest he's taking time to reflect, possibly waiting for the right moment to tell his side of the story. When he finally speaks, the impact could be seismic. If he confirms tensions, blames the coaching staff, or reveals details that haven't yet surfaced, it could ignite a firestorm that forces the Bears' ownership to step in. However, if he takes the high road and expresses a desire to reconcile, it could change public perception entirely. That's the unpredictable nature of sports narratives. Heroes and villains can switch places overnight. Gordon's future could depend on how he frames this chapter, as a misunderstanding blown out of proportion or as an example of a flawed system that silences players. Meanwhile, Johnson's silence is growing louder by the day. In the absence of transparency, rumors multiply, and the media fills the gaps. The city of Chicago, passionate and impatient as ever, wants answers. Until those arrive, speculation remains the only currency fueling this wild and unpredictable story. At the end of the day, the Ben Johnson, KYLER Gordon saga isn't just about football. It's about leadership, pride, and the fragile balance between control and chaos in high-stakes environments. Whether this moment becomes a cautionary tale or a comeback story depends on what happens next. The Bears stand at a crossroads. Either rally together and rebuild their fractured unity or collapse under the weight of internal conflict. Johnson must decide whether to double down on discipline or embrace humility, while Gordon must decide whether to fight for redemption or walk away for good. The fans, caught between frustration and fascination, are watching every development like it's a live drama series. And maybe that's what modern sports have become, a blend of performance, personality, and perception. One thing's certain, whatever happens next, this story won't fade quietly. It will echo through Chicago's sports history as the moment when everything changed for better or worse. Because in the NFL, it's never just about the game. It's about the people behind it, their choices, their clashes, and the legacies they leave behind. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.